We're glad to have you back this morning on Newspaper Review. We have a guest in the house who's going to be helping us with the analysis of our papers, diverse papers this morning, talking about Joseph Anyante, a legal practitioner and great analyst. Good to have you in the program.
Thank you. Good morning.
All right, let's kick start with stories making the headlines on our ABS website.
Victory of APGA candidates in state assembly elections received more commendations. Members of APGA Onitsha North constituency reject same state assembly results. Protest as INEC state headquarters, Oka. Governor Obiano comments in the Anambra over polls. So, Barrister, you've seen the stories of making the headlines on our website
All
this
about
morning.
Elections
All about elections, but I think we should start with the very first one, victory of APGA candidates in the state. People are commending that. So, are you also commending that?
Yes, actually, we need to say kudos to members of APGA. And at the same time, I want to advise that what happened during their primaries should not repeat itself, because most people left APGA as a result of primaries, the way they did their primaries. But thank God that at the end they were able to win majority of the seats, 24 out of 30. So I also commend them, and I ask them to learn lesson from what happened during the primaries, so that it will not repeat itself again.
Sure. Okay.
Yes.
The second one, talking about members of APGA in Onitsha North constituency, they rejected the assembly post and they went for protest yesterday at state INEC headquarters.
Yes, I think once an election result is announced, whatever thing you are doing again, I think is unnecessary. What you need to do, if you feel aggrieved, you go to court. That is the tribunal, election petition tribunal, and now present your facts. Going for protest is not the best way of handling such matter. So I advise them to move down to election petition tribunal and present their facts. If the candidate declared winner did not meet up with the requirements, then it's left for tribunal to nullify the election.
Okay.
Yes.
And then finally, Governor Obiano comments in the Anambra over polls.
Yes, Governor, I believe, should be very happy because what happened 3 weeks ago before this election, if we allowed it to happen again during this last Saturday, I think Governor will be crying inside his bed by now. But I thank God that Anambrans understood the need for us to have people in the State Assembly that can work with the governor, that have the same ideology with the governor. We don't need people that will just come up there and start raising unnecessary concern and distraction. We need people with the same ideology so that the governor will concentrate on his work instead of using the money he may use to work in lobbying the members from opposition party. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
All right, kudos to India Anambra. Let's go over to the very first paper of the day, Daily Sun.
All right, stories making the headlines this morning. Inconclusive Guba elections, no winners in Kano, Benue, Sokoto, and that's coming from INEC. Riders under the Bauchi, Adamawa Plateau also affected. PDP asks members to protest. Core members sue INEC over 7 billion naira unpaid allowances. INEC removes Okorocha's name from list of senators elect. On top of that story, Ihe Dioha leads in Imo, Okowa, El Rufai, Masari, Idris win in Delta, Kaduna, Katsina, Zamfara. Dusk to dawn curfew imposed on Taraba. I look forward to good working relationship with 9th NAS. That's coming from Buhari. Rivers Guba Pools Army sets up panel to probe soldiers' interference. Traditional rulers demand results release at units. And words. Well, the big story, no winners in Kano, Benue, Sokoto, coming from my neck, Bauchi, Adamawa Plateau, also affected. Your take?
Yes, actually, we need to be worried because some of these, even in Kano yesterday, the result have been released completely. It was 43 out of 44, and they later released the remaining one. So I wonder why they should come up with an inconclusive nature of that relation.
Protest. You talked about protest not being the best way.
No, you don't. All this protest is unnecessary. If they say it's inconclusive, you still call your members and ask them to remain calm and get ready for any rerun. Protest is not the best way because any pronouncement from INEC can only be reversed by a tribunal. People should get this. So if you say it's inconclusive, that is the situation of things, then get your supporters ready. Once a rerun date is given, then they go down and finish the work.
All right. Core members sue INEC over 7 billion naira unpaid allowances. That's huge. Massive.
Yeah, it's necessary. If INEC cannot pay them, they have the right to go to court and ask court for an order.
Trending story. INEC removes Okorocha's name from list of senators elect, which we actually
it's very funny. That is what I've just said. Once somebody is declared winner, you can't do anything about it. You have to issue a certificate of return. Even if such pronouncement was made out of duress, it has been made. It will take the tribunal to reverse it. That is why you have the tribunal in the first place. So for INEC, having declared the Okorocha winner, to come up now and say we cannot issue with a certificate of return is laughable because it's not done. They've made the statement, they've declared him winner.
Yes. So what will Okorocha do now? Probably going to the courts?
Of course. You know, sometimes what we see in this country is terrible. Going to court is not even in the first place, INEC has no such power. So Okorocha should ask them to give him the certificate. Like what happened in Akwa Ibom, Akpabio and the other person, the Akpabio went to ordinary court and asked court not to allow the other opponent to be given a certificate of return. It's not done. So you go to tribunal. Okorocha should go to tribunal and present his matter.
All right, let's move over to the next paper this morning, the Daily Times newspaper.
All right, banner headline says governorship polls, jubilation in Imo over Ihedioha's victory. PDP Giba candidate triumphs over Governor Okorocha's son-in-law, Ararume and others. El Rufai, Okoa, Idris, Zulum, Sule, Ayode wins in Kaduna, Delta, Zamfara, Borno, Nasarawa, and Cross River. Up there we have, I want to leave legacy of free, fair polls. Buhari polls for cordial relations with 9th National Assembly. Again, gunmen attack two Kaduna communities. How Greek man missed ill-fated Ethiopia Airlines flight. PDP demands release of governorship poll results in Sokoto, Adamawa Plateau, and others. CCT jurisdiction tribunal reserves ruling on Onogen's objection indefinitely. All right, still the big story, jubilation in Imo State as Ihedioha wins the governorship poll.
Yes, actually, I think APC worked against itself. That led to his fall in Imo State, starting from primaries and coming up with the son-in-law. We objected to that and stood against that till yesterday. It's not morally justified. It's very understandable that Nwosu has his right to contest. But you look at the time you are coming up to contest. Your in-law is the governor of the state, and you are at the same time coming up. People say no. And based on that, PDP was able to solidify its strategy. And Ihedioha now is the governor of Imo State. I think APC, he has to do that now.
Yeah, sure.
So
Then
I think APC will have to learn its lesson, because that is, if care is not taken, APC will die natural death in Imo State, because only Okorocha cannot handle APC, and most of the members have gone to another party. It's not healthy for that party in Imo State.
Again, gunmen attack two Kaduna communities. It's been a while we heard about all these attacks.
The point
then
is
after
that,
election, it has started again.
let me tell you something. These people doing all this, they know what they're doing. When we say it, sometimes people will not understand it. During election, you will not hear bandits, herdsmen. Even in Borno, where you have all this insurgency. As of yesterday, you got 1 million something votes. Then you now begin to ask, where are these people coming from? Where do you have this bulk vote? Because you have ID camps, most of them don't even have their voters card again. They don't talk of having voters card. So you should understand that there's a need for the northern elders to sit down and tell themselves the truth if they want this attack to stop.
All right, let's quickly move to the next paper. The Punch newspaper story is making the headlines this morning. The big one there, PDP alleges fraud as INEC declares 6 states governorship polls inconclusive. Riders over their runoffs to hold in Kano, Bauchi, Adamawa, Plateau, Benue, Sokoto. APC wins Zamfara, Kaduna, Borno. PDP sweeps Delta, Cross River. On top of that story, stock market investors withdraw 61.67 billion naira in 1 month. I will build mutual working relationship with 9th National Assembly, coming from Buhari. 16 killed in fresh Kaduna attack. CCT defers ruling on Onaga's objections indefinitely orders day-to-day trial. Ethiopian Airlines recovers black box, suspends operations of Boeing 737 MAX 8 aircraft. Ogun elections. Woman killed in crossfire as hoodlum security agents clash. We noticed vote buying violence, militarization. That's coming from Foreign Observer. INEC omits Okorocha's name from senators elect list. UTME jam bans ATM cards, watches, key holders. Well, I was still talking about the inconclusive poll, but let's quickly look at our build mutual working relationship with 9th National Assembly. That's coming from the president himself.
Yes, it's very necessary. I must tell you that the outgoing senators, as the 8th section, they really gave Mr. President headache. That was as a result of his statement when he came in. He said it's for everybody and it's for nobody. And that actually affected his first tenure, because the person that ought to be the Senate president, Lawan, could not make it. And that was when Saraki emerged as a Senate president. So I think APC will be very careful this time around to ensure that the mistake did not repeat itself.
We noticed vote buying violence, militarization. That's coming from Foreign Observers.
You say what?
We noticed vote buying violence. We noticed vote buying
violence,
yeah, militarization.
The lady was actually lamenting yesterday. Vote buying has actually come to stay, because you can't do anything about it. It has been there. Just that is of recent, we now have name for it. It has been there. When you try to lobby or persuade people to see reason why they should vote for you, it's vote buying. When you buy salt, wrapper, give money. Some of these things are for Gary and other things. It's vote buying. It has been there for long. And I don't think there's anything we can do about it, because poverty is really telling on our people. All these representatives, they don't even care. They will give you what you need at that moment and take your vote. At the end, they will not even pick your call again.
It was alarming. I mean, I was on the field.
In other words, when we curb poverty, it's to some extent it will help.
Poverty will help. And again, let there be a kind of a sanction to people that engage in this vote buying. If you see somebody giving money, then what you do is to arrest such individuals.
But there's been a sanction or law. I understand that.
No, there's law there, but
who carries it out? Because
that is the point. Implementation.
Say these things and that
implementation.
Actually, carry them
That's
out.
the
Because I saw a whole lot. My eyes was full. My ears were closed.
Yeah. On the issue of Onoge, I want to say that when the issue of jurisdiction is raised, the court will have to stay proceeding and determine jurisdiction first. Because if you fail to determine jurisdiction, whatever thing you do at the end will be a nullity. So I wonder why CCT will now adjourn ruling on jurisdiction indefinitely. I don't know where this country is going to. Somebody has actually raised an issue of jurisdiction, saying you don't have jurisdiction to try me. You are biased. And somebody is saying, I have jurisdiction. I must try you. I don't know where this country is going to. But we watch out what will play out today, because the matter is also coming up today.
Yeah, let's go over to the next paper, the Nation newspaper. Banner headline: polls inconclusive in Kano, Benue, Sokoto, and 3 others. Riders that say Adamawa, Plateau, Bauchi also affected. INEC names Ayade, Idris, El Rufai, Bello, Sule winners. Ihedioha, Okowa, Masari, Zulum, Buni also win. Then we have Ethiopia airline planes recorder recovered. CCT orders daily hearing in Onoye's trial. Polls army panel to probe its men. Kaigama is Abuja Archbishop. All nears $63 on Saudi export curbs. Zidane returns to Real Madrid. Politicians, not INEC, should carry the can. Okay? MTN chief faults AGFs on $2 billion tax demand. All right, I think we should talk about the army panel to probe its men.
Yes, what played out in River State is very embarrassing, where you have a policeman guiding the environment that has the constitutional right to guide the environment. All of a sudden, the army came from nowhere and started chasing away policemen. I continue to say it. I don't know where this country is heading to. They were trying to show that they are superior to policemen. Tear gassing policemen. It's unheard of. So, army should take it easy. Whether you set up committee or you know set up committee, it's not our business. Army should know their constitutional responsibility. They should go up there to our borders and ensure that all these herdsmen militia do not come into our country. Whenever they are needed, then the police will let them know. But for you to just come up and start embarrassing policemen, it's unheard of.
All right, let's quickly move on to the final paper this morning. The Guardian newspaper stories making the headlines. Big one, controversy over inconclusive polls in opposition strongholds. Riders over there. PDP asked members to begin mass protest. INEC declares Okowa, Masari, Sule, El Rufai, Ayade, Umara winners. Crash of Boeing 737 MAX triggers safety concerns. Air Peace yet to receive a operate airplane type. Experts urge caution. China, Ethiopia, India orders ground aircraft. US, EU decry election management in Nigeria. Urge reforms. Okorocha's name may seen on INEC's list of senators elect. Darius Ishaku imposes curfew in Taraba State. Lagos AD alleges Guba polls irregularities, rejects result. Let's quickly talk about the crash of the Boeing 737 MAX trigger safety concern. Most countries are actually grounding it. The plane in their air fleets. Air Peace Nigeria said they're going on to purchase it.
Actually, it's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate, and the management of that airline should work on their activities, because you don't play with lives. You don't play with lives. So wherever they got it wrong, they should look back and know, and now work on it.
All right, thank you so very much. Just to let you know that the papers are really out there. You can go out and pick any of the papers of your choice, read up, and get to know what is happening, and that way you get informed. And also a very big thank you to Joseph Anyante, a legal practitioner and, of course, an analyst. Very good to have you in the program.
Thank you very much.
And, of course, it's time, Dima.
Yes, it's time for us to go, but not to leave the studio, but we'll be right back. Just stay with us because we have other issues we are going to discuss today. Thank you so much for being with us in this class. Don't go anywhere.